I request Dr. Richa Sharma, HOD MBA, to present a sapling to Dr. Manju Gupta, Director Strategic Management. Today, we stand at a pivotal moment where the digital tide is transforming how we can earn, manage, and grow our wealth. Forget clunky banks and mountains of paperwork. Finance is about to get a total makeover powered by clever tech, brainy robots, and revolutionary new ways of thinking. We are talking about lightning fast transactions, personalized money magic, and AI advisors smarter than the average stockbrokers. This is a roadmap to this brave new financial world where money bent to your will, banks will fit in your pocket, and the decisions are made by the algorithms that never sleeps. Buckle up, folks, because the future of finance is digital, personal, and about to explode in your pocket. Let's revolutionize this thing together. This finance conclave, based on the theme Revolutionizing the Finance Digitally, Creating the Roadmap for Future Frontier, promises to be a thrilling expedition into the uncharted territories of financial innovation. A lot to look forward to this afternoon. To begin with, I am elated to take this opportunity to introduce you to Dr. Geeti Sharma, Director, Mangalmay Institute of Management and Technology. Dr. Geeti Sharma is having more than 2 decades of rich experience in teaching, administration, and research and development. She was bestowed with India Prime Women Icon Award by Fox Clues India and Distinguished Academician Award by Global Research Foundation for her exceptional contribution to academics. She has an incisive acumen in turning around campuses and bringing about a challenging and innovative learning ecosystem that empowers active learners with a high quality experience. I am sure under her able guidance, our institute will rise to a new height. Thank you, ma'am, for being there always for all of us. Now, I request ma'am to come forward and take the command for welcome address and brief about today's event. Over to you, ma'am.
Mic check. A very warm good morning to everybody present in the session. So I would like to welcome all of you to the Finance Conclave on a very pertinent topic of revolutionizing finance digitally, creating the roadmap for the future frontiers. So at the outset, I would like to welcome all our guests to the Mangalmay portals. We have with us Dr. Manas Sinha, Mr. Akash Ali, Mr. Sanjeev Ahuja, Mr. Aditya More is yet to join, and CA Kansha Arora. So right from entrepreneurs to chartered accountants and to the people who have delved into best of the startup stories they have. So we all have a very rich panel of guests with us. I think all of them deserves a very big round of applause. We also have with us Dr. Manju, and above all, we are very fortunate to have our Vice Chairman, Sir Mr. Ayush Mangal, with us today this morning. So let's give him a very big round of applause. So dear students, the program today is specifically focusing in the area of finance, and we are going to talk about how digital impact is being seen in the area of finance and how it is going to impact our lives and the economy as a whole. So for financial organizations, the process of digital transformations has become pivotal, right? Right from, we talk about the operational methods, we talk about, customer interface, everything has become so handy these days. If we first of all talk about, mobile banking and digital payment, I think that has triggered the way we have been living our lives altogether. Everything is just, in that a small piece of mobile these days. So we can manage investments, we can manage transactions, we can see our bank account details, we can see our balance. Everything is available on this smart mobile phone. So how it is going to revolutionize everything? Are the machines really going to replace each one of us, or it's the other way around, that we have made the machines and it's actually the us who are going to govern this? As we were discussing, Mr. Sanjeev Ahuja was also very rightly pointing out that it's us who have made the machines, and we are going to govern the machines. But somehow it has happened that the machines somehow are governing us, right? So there are so many aspects which have revolutionized the finance sector. We talk about how AI has revolutionized. We have apps which can watch out the market trends, which can tell us that which area we need to invest for and which area we should not. So there is so much of going on in the financial sector. So we have our plethora of guests. We have so much of experience sitting in front of all of you, and I would like to urge all my students to take the best out of of the guest experience, ask as many questions as possible. And I would also like to urge the guests to help them out in getting an idea that what are those skill sets which are required to actually delve into the area of finance. It's not just the bookish knowledge, it's not just the specialization which you have taken, but it's also about that what are these skill sets, what is the market demand, what is the corporate demand. Because we have our MBA first year and second year students both sitting here. So all of you need to know that if a particular area you have, if you are trying to get into this area, so what is that particular skill set which is required by all of you? So with those words, I wish and I congratulate the coordinators of this conclave, Dr. Anju Bala, Dr. Minakshi, and the entire team who have worked day in and day out to make this conclave a great success. And of course, all our students of MBA Plus Plus and MBA who are here, the coordinators who have worked hard. And I just wish this conclave a very best. And I urge all my students to take the best out of today. And with those words, thank you so much, everyone. And I wish all my dear students all the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, I would like to formally introduce our panelist for corporate panel discussion. Dr. Manas Sinha. Sir is a sales professional with extensive experience in the IT domain for over 3 decades, including that in IBM, which entailed stint in sales, product management, branding, technology, business development, and training portfolio. Currently, he has taken a new initiative to create a difference into the IT solution and services sector, especially in the government and enterprises spaces through a dynamic and innovative approach. Mr. Akash Ali, sir is a visionary leader, innovator, and a change maker. Serve as a founder and CEO of Go Baby Go Cabs, a revolutionary phase in the transportation sector. With a proven track record of spread-heading, transformating initiative, Mr. Akash has driven Go Baby Go Cabs to become a pioneering platform, redefining urban mobility through innovation and visionary leadership. His entrepreneurial journey is marked by a relentless pursuit of reshaping how cities are navigated, fostering a culture of innovation within the company. Mr. Sanjeev Ahuja, sir is a highly qualified professional with expertise in meditation and negotiation. Holding a law degree from Delhi University and excelling in chartered accountancy, he brings a strong educational background to his career. As an alumnus of ISB and Sri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University, he is well versed in the relationship management and troubleshooting. Specializing in area like meditation, corporate insolvency, and strategy, he has served on committees for PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Ministry of Commerce. Mr. Aditya Maurya, sir has accomplished business strategy leader with over 11 years of experience, provided mentoring to over 200 startups and earning opportunity to speak at prestigious organizations and universities on entrepreneurship and strategy in the 21st century. Beyond the boardroom, his passion for sustainability and organic growth extend to active involvement in CSR and NGOs. reflecting his commitment to make a positive impact on a society. CA Akanksha Arora. Ma'am is a highly accomplished finance professional with over 11 years of experience in finance, tax, auditing, and stock markets. Graduating from Delhi University in 2009 with a bachelor's degree in commerce, she later earned a master's degree in commerce. In 2012, she successfully completed the challenging chartered accountancy course, establishing her expertise in the field. Beyond her financial roles, Miss Akanksha actively teaches and mentors students pursuing chartered accountancy, company secretary, and various degrees. Known for her positive teaching style, she, along with her team, is committed to simplifying stock market education and finance concepts, aiming to contribute to building a financially aware and empowered society. Dr. Manju Gupta, she will be the moderator of corporate panel discussion with 21 year of rich experience in the education industry. Dr. Manju Gupta is a distinguished professional in the strategic management and academics. Currently serving as the Director of Strategic Management at Mangalmay Group of Institution. I now request Dr. Manju Gupta, Director of Strategic Management, to come forward and take the command. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So at first, I must welcome all the panelists here who has spared time and definitely sharing their experience. So I'm sure student must be thinking that all the panelists are not from the finance background, right? Is this thinking coming in your mind? No, it should not come because nowadays the entire industry is dominated by technicalities, right? Even the finance industry also. So as a student, while you are in the class, you learn about accounts, economics, strategic management, and other things. But I'm sure as a student, you should understand that how the other startup industries are working and how the finance is playing role into startup industry. Similarly, how the technical industry is dominated even by the finance. So these are interrelated and hand in hand go by. So I'm sure every panelist has experience to share, and this is going to be a very very exciting session today. So the topic for this session is changing finance digitally. Even this topic speaks about itself, how this finance is merged with digital things. So that is why the fintech has came into picture, right? So everybody has I'm sure must be aware about the fintech, how the finance and technologies are coming about together and changing the role of this finance industry. So we are changing finance digitally and creating the roadmap for the future frontier. So we are going to talk about it this today. So I'm definitely sharing a lot of wonderful insights you have never heard about, how the blockchain, machine learning is playing a role into this finance industry. So changing finance digitally involve leveraging technologies to transform traditional financial processes, making them more efficient, accessible, and secure. Creating a roadmap for the future frontier of digital finance require a strategic approach that address key areas such as blockchain technology. I'm sure you must have heard about blockchain. Have you heard? Okay. Artificial intelligence, data analytics, and of course the user experience, which is very very important. We call it as UI, right? So when we are knowing about these technologies, just as a name, but we should understand how these technologies are entering into the finance industry. So there is a comprehensive guide I'm going to tell you about creating such a roadmap. If we talk about blockchain technologies, we should explore the potential of blockchain for decentralized and transparent financial system. So I always says to the student, when you are working, doing MBA and taking finance as a specialization, so just don't focus onto the core subject. Core are the fundamental subject and they are the basis. But then you should learn how this technical, technicalities are entering into the financial domain. So you should understand about how Cognos and Watson are working, how we are learning about financial, softwares and tools. So you should learn about, because industries are looking forward for such kind of professionals. So you should have MBA plus certain value added certification. I'm sure you must be learning digital marketing, advanced Excel, and SAP, or maybe data analytics or data science for the large. So you should consider all these smart contracts to automate and streamline various financial transactions. Evaluate the use of blockchain for secure and efficient cross border payments. So, as a certification, along with your MBA, you can add blockchain as a value added certification into your core degree so that you can become a specialized into this domain and can handle all these three aspects which I'm going to tell you. And if we talk about artificial intelligence and machine learning, generally student thinks AI and ML is only for IT students. No. You must be thinking that why ma'am is telling about blockchain, AI and ML, which is mainly for MCA student or for BTech computer science student. No. Even MBA student can go for these as a value-added certification and can make their profile a very rich profile. So you can implement AI and ML to algorithm for predictive analytics to access and manage financial risk. You can develop AI driven chatbot for customer support and financial advice. If you have IT skills as well as management skills, so you become IT managers, or I must say techno managers. So the world is of techno managers, not of managers, I must say. So utilize machine learning for fraud detection and prevention, digital identity and security, specifically in financial industry. So such kind of things are very, very important. So you have to implement robust digital identity solution using biometric, blockchain, and other secure technology. How many students are knowing about APIs? Have you heard about API? Suna hai kabhi? No. Open banking, open banking, I'm sure you must have heard, Anna. So, what exactly the open banking and API is, and how this is going to help in your career? So, if we talk about banking and API, so you need to embrace open banking principle to foster collaboration between financial institution and third party developers. So, if we take any of the application, any app nowadays, so there is a third party financial institution is involved for doing all financial transactions. So, you have to develop and expose API to enable seamless integration with various financial services. Encourage the creation of innovative financial products and service through open APIs. If we are talking about data analytics, which is again a lingo of IT world, but then I always relate all these technologies even with management professional, specifically financial professional. So we need to leverage big data analytics to gain insight into customer behavior and preferences. So I'm not saying that you have to change your stream. You have to add these certification into your core portfolio so that you become a IT manager or techno managers. Again, I'm saying. So you need to add data analytics for personalized financial advice and targeted marketing. Enhance risk management through real-time analysis of marketing trends and economic indicators. When I'm saying user experience, when you open any of the app, be it Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, so what matter most? Of course, business integration, and at the same time user experience, which matters a lot. The first impression which coming of any of the application is user experience. We call it as UI, right? So you need to prioritize user centric design for digital financial platform to improve accessibility and usability. And I'm sure every student is not going to work as an employee. I'm sure you are here to hire employees, right? So maybe you are going into the field of entrepreneurship, you have your own startup, you can have your own business in future. So you should know that how this kind of technologies are entering into the world of finance. Not only finance, I'm sure technology is entering into all sectors, be it finance or marketing or even law or even for design. So you need to focus on creating new intuitive interfaces for both novice and experiential users. Now, the last, which is very, very important, is I'm sure Sanjeev is going to talk about negotiation and kind of litigation or other things. So, regulatory compliances is very, very important. Any of the project which is coming along with you, it has to have certain compliances, and these compliances are bound with some regulatory guidelines. So, what kind of abreast of evaluating, regulation and compliances requirement in the financial industry? Collaborative with regulatory bodies to ensure that digital finance innovation align with legal framework, because finance is very, very dominated by framework, of course, because you need to bound with certain regulation. So we need to be careful about all these framework and regulation policies. we have to implement automated compliance checks and reporting mechanism. So now I would definitely give stage to the panelists who are there to share their experiences. So before moving forward, I would ask with all the panelists to share their views about the theme which we have taken for today. Sanjeev, can you share certain insights about the theme?
Sure. Thank you. So, very good afternoon to everyone. Good morning has become good afternoon. So let's go with the tide. I start by thanking the organizers. I think that's a great initiative, and it's heartening to have the Audi entirely full. I mean, is it by force or like you really wanted to understand what we are going to talk today? So that's also important, right? And what I also want is let's try and make this entire session as interactive as possible. Logic being very simple. If it ends up being a monologue, हमें कुछ कुछ पता है, and are we good with the English, Hindi and English? That makes it more like I mean, you'll be able to relate more in that case. Uh, so the whole idea is that whatever we speak, we'll be talking with our own experience, with our own mindset. We come here. There's a topic given, but there's a lot of discussion which can happen around the topic, right? So it's very important for everyone to go deeper, understand, relate to what we are trying to say, and immediately raise your hands or without, whichever way you want, like at least ask, because that is where we understand that you are also trying to understand. You actually pick up what we are trying to say, and making it interactive will probably makes more sense. Other thing is a small correction. How many of you have heard a term called mediation? Sorry, no, that's not a Greek word or Latin. Mediation. I mean, have you heard any one of you? And in case with a show of hands, if I understand, like how many of you heard? Because okay, I just see one hand. I don't know, like such a alien topic. Of course, I can spend a minute on this, because what is mentioned there is meditation. Meditation is to be done by Shri Ravi Shankar, not by Sanjeev Ahuja. Sanjeev Ahuja is going to talk about a bit of mediation, a bit of negotiation, a bit of settlement. And I sit here as a slight odd man out. I understand the topic of the day. I am a chartered accountant. I know a bit of finance. But what is more important is I'm also a lawyer. And a lawyer as a part of my second innings, so which can be, a bit of excitement for some of you, that studying and picking up new degrees and, new knowledge can never stop, should not stop. I mean, at your age, of course, you are like, right now picking up the first main career choice, but over the period, there'll be more options, because, as we live in a what we call is a VUCA world. Have you heard about VUCA world? Right? Or is it again a different difficult acronym? Okay, VUCA, when we normally say, is like V stands for volatile, U stands for uncertain, C stands for complex or complicated or confusing, and A stands for ambiguous. So VUCA world, it's very dynamic. On one side, we are talking about globalization. Whatever's happening in US, like you immediately get the impact, and the vice versa. So with a flow of information, with a huge data information around, you really need to be on top of it to understand what is relevant, what is not. So coming back to a very specific thing, when we talk about mediation, we are talking about dispute resolution, right? So somebody, a neutral, a mediator, a third party who sits between the two people and helps them resolve a dispute, helps them bridge the gap of understanding, helps them bridge the gap of negotiation. So it's all connected to finance. At the day end, like you have an issue with a contract, or you have an issue with a payment, with a vendor, with a customer, right, with a third party. So you end up quantifying everything in terms of the money involved. So negotiation is, what is the negotiation for a startup? A negotiation is where a founder who's very passionate about his own startup is actually sitting and negotiating with a funder or an investor. What kind of a multiples we should get in terms of the values. It's all about negotiation from that perspective. And mediation is nothing more than a assisted negotiation. So someone like us who sits in between, he helps either one side or both the sides in trying to find a amicable solution. So that's the connect. What are settlements? We keep fighting. At the end, even the courts at times say settle. You've heard about the check bouncing part of it, right? 138 सेक्शन में उसको नोटिस भेज दिया, मजिस्ट्रेट के पास चले गए, जेल हो गई, ऐसा अंडर आईपीसी 138, so it's a criminal offense. So I speak a bit like a lawyer, a bit like a CA, but at the end whatever is relevant, pick that up, ask us, and we'll revert accordingly. So negotiation क्यों होती है, settlement क्यों होती है? अरे आपका चेक था, बाउंस हो गया, राइट, चलो सेटल कर लो। तो वो दे नहीं सकता, कितना दे सकता है, उधर भी नेगोशिएशन भी चाहिए, सेटलमेंट भी चाहिए। व्हाई? सो द वर्ड इज बाय पीस। Every time you go to the court, you are actually in uncertainty. Every time you go to a court, you have to follow certain process procedures. So things are at times beyond you, because then the system takes over. So you want a third party to decide for you, or you yourself should be in control. So that is where a settlement, a negotiation, or a mediation helps. That's one. What I also do, and it might be relevant and exciting for some, which is of course not mentioned here. I have been a resolution professional. So have you heard about insolvency and bankruptcy code? Any of you? Lovely. That's I mean, again, a flavor of the season. It's been there for the last 7 years, and being a CA lawyer, I thought that we'll be probably the best guys to be in that space. And then we get appointed by the court. The courts are called NCLTs, National Company Law Tribunals, where we get appointed by the courts, and then we are given companies which are in distress. So it's all about finance, right? Restructuring. They have taken debt, they are in default. So the whole premise of IBC is debt and a default. So that's where the connect is. So, we run a setup called Insolvency Clinic, where we take over the companies. I mean, of course, getting appointed through the court. Then we help them restructure. These companies are in distress. We have to interact with the lenders, with the customers, with the vendors, with the authorities, right? Entire cash flows, all those things have to be evaluated. And then we help them, restructure, where also element of mediation and negotiation and settlements, it comes in. So that's the the larger view of what we do, how we do. Any questions, we'll be more than happy to address. But for now, I think I'll stop here and let other people also share the views, right? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sanjeev. I'm sure this is going to help the student to decide or to take things further. So now I would request Mr. Akash Ali to share insights about the theme today.
Hello, finance future leaders. It is very honored to be here. Like, thanks, Manju, for inviting me for such a very big and a very important, right? Topics nowadays is digitalization of finance, right? Nowadays, it is very important in everybody's life. Whether you are working, whether you are doing business, whether you are doing anything, right? So now finance playing is very important role. So suppose if I am working, right? So I need to manage funds as well for me for daily day-to-day activities, or I need to know about the digital things as well. So finance, digitalization of finance is very revolutionary. Technologies are very important. So inviting me for this auspicious event, thank you so much, and opportunity to speak about the finance things, right? Even though I am not from the finance background, but I know about the finance things, like how the digital finance is helping all the startups. Especially, I am in this industry. Go Baby Go Cabs is same like Ola and Uber, but whatever the problems facing nowadays, the drivers, the users, from the all the online cab facility. So Go Baby Go is solving that from the drivers to users. So, little background about myself, right? I have done also MBA in marketing and HR from ISB Hyderabad. Then I moved to Dubai. I have worked there as a brand manager for 3 years. And when I come back here in India, and my hometown is in Assam. Okay, and we have tea garden as well there and factories. So I find there like there is a lot of transportation problem because in the hilly Sahel side, what happened if you want to go somewhere, right, in city, so you need to go via public transport only, and the public transport, if you want to go in the city, only till 8 a.m. only will be there. मतलब 8 बजे तक ही आपको मिलेगा. अगर 8 बजे के बाद से अगर आप मतलब कहीं जाना चाहते हो, अगर आपके पास अपना व्हीकल नहीं रहेगा तो आप कहीं जा नहीं पाओगे. And even though the students were like studying in the cities, अगर वो सिटी में पढ़ रहे हैं तो अगर उधर से जब रिटर्न होते हैं अपने घर, तो उनके लिए भी कोई ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का फैसिलिटी नहीं था. तो उनको देखते हुए मैंने जस्ट विद ए स्मॉल फेसबुक पेज, मैंने 2021 22 जुलाई को स्टार्ट करा था फेसबुक. और धीरे धीरे पॉपुलर होते गया. And then we come into company, then we come into applications. फिर वहाँ पे कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हुई कि हम लोग वी आर इन द प्राइवेट व्हीकल्स, ठीक है. देन आई केम टू दिल्ली. दिल्ली में मुझे प्रॉब्लम पता चला कि ड्राइवर्स, देर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स. मतलब जहाँ रूरल एरियाज में जो भी प्रॉब्लम्स था, उससे ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम तो मुझे सिटी में दिखाई दिया ड्राइवर्स का. बिकॉज यहाँ पे ड्राइवर्स जो है बहुत ज़्यादा हाई कमीशन पे कर रहे थे रिस्पेक्टिव प्लेटफॉर्म्स को. उनका कोई डेडिकेटेड कोई सपोर्ट नहीं था. एंड ऑल्सो देर इज नो लाइक इंश्योरेंस is also not giving. Payout method भी hectic था. It is only because of they don't using the latest technologies like RPA. RPA is a robotic process automation. So it is a revolutionary technology जो कि आपको सेंट्रलाइज करता है पेमेंट प्रोसेस को, ठीक है. तो उनके ऊपर मैंने फिर काम करना स्टार्ट किया. AI, देन अगर आप सिक्योरिटी की बात करें तो ब्लॉकचेन इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट, जो कि डिसेंट्रलाइज करता है हर एक ट्रांजैक्शन को. उसके बाद से आरपीए इज वन ऑफ द बेस्ट, बिकॉज ये सेटलमेंट ऑन टाइम, एक काम को आप फिक्स कर दो, वो वही करते रहेगा. इट विल save a lot of time for you, the cost reduction as well, and the time management as well. So I'm using all this technology in my app now, and it will be live by 1st April. All the AI and the blockchain technology, and also RPA. So अभी हमारे में क्या होता है कि ओला एंड उबर और अदर कंपनीज, दे टुक 7 days फॉर द पेमेंट, बट थ्रू आरपीए वी लाइक हमारा जो पेमेंट सेटलमेंट होता है विद इन 24 hours. Okay, so for being as a finance student, right, so what I believe is always you know problem solver. तो करंट प्रॉब्लम जो भी आता है, मतलब जब भी प्रॉब्लम्स आया है तभी टेक्नोलॉजी बिल्ड हुआ है, always. तो be a problem solver always. Okay, so digital payments क्यों आया? Why the digital payments come? Why phone pay, UPI, why is the famous? Anyone? पहले क्या होता, पहले कैसे पेमेंट करते थे हम लोग? अगर किसी को पैसा भेजना होगा तो, मतलब अगर बैंक बंद हुआ तो, किसी का मेडिकल इमरजेंसी हो गया, कैसे करे? बैंक बंद है 3 दिन, नो, भेज ही नहीं पाएंगे, बंदा मर जाएगा भाई मेडिकल में, राइट गाइस? तो थ्रू यूपीआई इज वन ऑफ द रिवोल्यूशनरी इन द फाइनेंस, डिजिटल फाइनेंस इंडस्ट्री, जो कि 1 सेकेंड में आप जो है ना भेज सकते हो कहीं भी कभी भी, चाहे बैंक बंद हो ओपन हो, डजेंट मैटर, राइट? द सेम थिंग इज गोइंग ऑन अहेड विथ, पहले क्या होता था एप्लीकेशंस में यू कैन नॉट डू द पेमेंट, ठीक है. अगर अभी पहले की बात करें जब ऑनलाइन पेमेंट्स नहीं आया था, लाइक पेमेंट गेटवेज, राइट? अभी वन ऑफ द अगर पेमेंट गेटवेज की बात करें तो बहुत सारे पेमेंट गेटवेज आ गए हैं और उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें भी ऐड ऑन हो गया है. तो थ्रू पेमेंट गेटवे आपका शॉपिंग को कितना इजी बना दिया है, राइट? अगर पेमेंट गेटवे नहीं होता तो क्या करते आप लोग, कंपनीज क्या करती? तो whenever the problems arises, right, there is a solution. So being as a student, right, being as a like a finance leader, आप लोग में से कल को कोई ऐसा एक टेक्नोलॉजी लॉन्च करेगा जो कि चेंज करेगा, यू आर द वन गाइस, ठीक है. तो ऑलवेज थिंक अबाउट द प्रॉब्लम्स एंड बी द चेंजर इन द फाइनेंस वे. ओके, एंड द फाइनेंस इज इंपॉर्टेंट इन एवरी प्रोस्पेक्टिव. इट डजंट मीन कि मतलब ओके हम मुझे अगर मैं कोई अदर सेक्टर में हो तो मुझे फाइनेंस की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा, बिकॉज हमारे इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट्स भी हैं, अलग फील्ड से भी होंगे, तो फाइनेंस कितना इंपॉर्टेंट है उन सबको पता है, राइट? बिकॉज कोलाबोरेशन इज ऑल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अगर मेरा कंपनी है, सपोज कोई भी कंपनी हो, सपोज मैं अपनी बात बताता हूँ, लाइक माई गो बेबी गो कैप्स कंपनी, हाउ इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट हियर, लाइक कैसे फाइनेंस प्ले कर रही है. अब मेरे पास आता है, मेरा ड्राइवर बोलता है कि भाई आपको मेरे को गाड़ी लेना है, मुझे फाइनेंस करवा के दो. तो वेयर आई विल गो, आई नीड टू कोलैबोरेट विद ऑल द फाइनेंसर्स. मेरे जो यूजर्स हैं उनको मुझे ऑफर्स देना है, तो व्हाट आई विल, मैंने लॉन्च किया डिजिटल वॉलेट. सो थ्रू डिजिटल वॉलेट्स वी कैन गिव अट्रैक्टिव ऑफर्स, और हमारा बिजनेस रेवेन्यू मोर देन 20x इंक्रीज. तो मैं यही बोलना चाहूंगा आप लोग से. ऑलवेज फोकस ऑन द टेक्नोलॉजी, जो भी अपकमिंग टेक्नोलॉजी और करंट टेक्नोलॉजी है उनके ऊपर फोकस करो आप लोग, एंड बी द चेंज मेकर, ऑलवेज लाइक सॉल्व द प्रॉब्लम. आई विल स्टॉप हियर फ्रॉम, मेरा यहीं पे रुकता हूँ मैं. थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच.
So Akash doesn't mean to say that you have to learn technology now or you have to build technology since you are management professionals and you are finance, opting finance as a specialization. But I personally believe, see, nowadays students are collaborating with each other. I'm sure you must be having IT as a specialization. So generally, whenever we do any project, तो उस project में 4 या 5 बच्चे तो होते हैं ना. Be it you are doing mini project or maybe major project or even your synopsis work. So now these 4 students have certain expertization or maybe certain choices in their career life. So if any of the student who is into technology and the other one is into finance or the third one is into marketing, so we need to collaborate and come up with one or the other product. So now consider this product as a business. Generally students don't consider project as a business. Since I was a faculty also, so I know generally student क्या करते हैं, project को एक formalities की तरह लेते हैं, right? They have to submit project so that they can get the marks and they do the viva, right? But don't do this mistake. Consider project as a business. Because ऐसे भी बहुत सारे बच्चों को मैं जानती हूँ कि फाइनल सेमेस्टर में they have started their business. How they have started their business? Because when they were doing mini projects, so they consider mini project as a business venture, and when they reached to their final semester, they were ready with their business, of course, as a startup, I must say. So that thinking has to be there in the mindset of management student. So now you do not have to build technology, but when you are having a sound understanding of management principles, marketing and finance, then technology enablers would definitely be associate with you, and then you can come up with certain solutions, right? So that is the whole gist of saying what Akash was saying to you. Now I would request Manas, you share your insights since you are already working in, you have your own established company. So how this finance is playing a role, or how the student has to prepare themselves for working into the corporate sector and taking finance as a career.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah. So just to add to what Dr. Manju shared, and also my other panelist, Mr. Sanjeev and Mr. Akash also said, any aspect of our learning from any particular subject that we take it, whether it's finance, since most of you are from there, talk about manufacturing, talk about processes, talk about education. These are functional parts of what we have done. The other part is obviously the technology part, and since I come from a technology organization, so that's what I'm trying to harness out here in terms of sharing my knowledge. So both the functional part and the technology part combine together to give you the best of both worlds, and that is what defines your next state of delivering the end result, whatever we are all trying to do. Technology, and specifically in the finance part, again, to borrow a word, what Mr. Sanjeev said a little while ago, is more of an enabler than anything else. But this enabler is strong enough to define, determine, and decide how exactly that particular function is going to be utilized. Now, the good part and the bad part is technology can be used both ways. And especially when it comes to finance, it's a very, very sensitive subject. Most of us, if you actually ask yourself, are doing everything at the end of it to earn certain things across there. Maybe financing is one part of it, right? Finance is one part. Maybe someone is here to earn fame, someone, but all of that combined together, the finance is to be the most important aspect of that particular aspiration of all of us out here in this room. Now, to validate that across, how do we ensure that technology plays the role in terms of defining the new age digitalization, the new age connectivity, and the new age collaborative effects? So typically they say finance is ruled by, the fintech rather is ruled by ABCD of it. So A, they talk about AI, B, they talk about blockchain, C, they talk about cloud, and D, they talk about digitalization or data analysis as part of that digitalization. There are other aspects also in terms of collaborative work, in terms of IoTs, in terms of the revenue models, the new models which are coming about. Most of this, if you see during COVID, that is what taught us has given all of us a basic understanding of how a collaborative method is all about, like what Dr. Manju also shared. You might be good across in your field, but what you need to also do, and this is a complex world nowadays, is to collaborate and engage with fellow professionals who come with other different technology based offerings, or maybe even like what Sanjeev ji also said about from the mediation, or from you know working out on the aspect of legalities of it, or as Akash is again from ensuring that you're building something which is rational but at the same time evolutionary also. So to ensure to deliver that particular truth of the beauty of this particular distillation, all of us needs to really look at things across what makes the entire aspect important, precise, and derivative of all of these. So my suggestion and advice to all of you is to ensure that whatever you learn in the portals of this hallowed this institution is one part of it, but do seek out other professionals, different organizations, and find out what could actually help in terms of defining this roadmap for you. The world is going to be a more complex space. You have all kind of technologies coming in. I mean, there wasn't fraud to the extent in the earlier stage, especially in the financial segment, which currently is coming in across there. So how do you assess that? What are the steps you need to take? What are the options they need to build a safe proof and a business proof economy which doesn't rattle through in difficult moments wherever you face that? So the logic is digitalization is important and all of us are keen to it, but also be sensible enough to understand the functional part of it for which you are actually training yourself, and to add technology to give you that particular edge which will ensure that going to the next century and ahead, you build up a more resolute, more stronger, and a more transparent environment. Thank you.
Well said, Manas. So basically, the thing is that you do not look finance as a traditional finance. Rather, you look for new age finance. So I think this is all about Manas want to say. So I don't know how many students are here who do research. Any of the student is there interested for research, which is very important, in fact, right? So generally, during in student life, we always keep on working and looking forward only for the examination, right? And we do whatever our faculty teaches. So our life limited to that what our faculties are teaching. No, as a management professional, you should not be like that, right? You should have to have your own understanding about the subject, and you have to do your own research. And fortunately, you are living in the world of digital, right? Everything else thing is there in front of you, just on fingertips. So you have to go and sit in front of computer and take the productive use of it, how this finance industry is working, what are the new perspectives are adding into the domain of finance. So don't look finance only for accounts and economics, just a traditional finance. Look for the new age finances. So I would request Akanksha, because Akanksha is a senior practitioner, specifically in terms of the domain of finance. So Akanksha, you share your insight how this industry is working and how they have to prepare.
Good afternoon. Am I audible? Okay, once again, you're not audible. Very good afternoon, all of you. Now it's nice. Thank you, organizer, for calling me here. So, what I want to share, being a practicing CA and a stock market analyst, I just want to do the comparative analysis of the past, what I did and what I'm doing. Like when I was doing my articleship, we used to stand in a long queue for filing for physically submission of income tax returns, right? And then annual reporting, we are standing in big queues. Now that gone are the days. Like checks, jab कितना time लगता था पहले checks को, how many working days it takes? Now it's 3, but initially when 10 years, 11 years down the line, उस समय it takes 6 working days. So waiting for check, waiting for my first salary from a check, it takes long time. Now this new world, I think we all are using UPI. Anyone in this session not using UPI? Anyone? Okay. So we have crossed that 100 billion benchmark in 2023, and we have crossed that highest number of transactions and users in the world. मतलब USA तो देख रहा है कि हम कहाँ पहुंच रहे हैं. It's like 7 years faster than US. They're still on Mastercards and Visas, and we have reached that uh, this new technologies. So now let's compare this all this financial transactions जो इतनी fast हो गई. It takes only 3 seconds. Earlier it was so many working days. So that fast in technology which is happening everywhere. Like now we are not supposed to go anywhere for filing any ITRs or any annual returns. It's just in seconds. So this is the technological development in finance. Now what we used to do, one thing, that is project financing. In my very initial year of my career, so I used to make a proper documentation and financing and that big loans to uh, big groups of companies. So we make that big documentation filing. Kitni badi badi files hum log banate the. Nowadays we have open this AI and machine learning. There are many companies which are in fractions of second giving us credit scores just like that. If I talk about that auditing part, everything was physical. Now we have such a amazing softwares which is again making us do in again fractions of seconds. We are able to rectify the errors. We are able to detect what is happening in again in seconds. Again I will compare. We used to file tenders for taking government auditing. Now we have gem portals. Gem portals again giving us these portals. You can also access to it. You can log in. You can have an ID over there. You can apply for the tenders, and all the unbiased, transparent government is giving that clear tenders wala part. अब सब सामने जिस क्या बिड लग रहा है क्या ऑक्शन हो रहा है everything is very clear now. So what is happening nowadays is completely changed. Now, one more thing, this digital e-rupee, this central bank e-rupee concept is coming, which is completely replacing the physical notes in their future. The four banks has already adopted. In 2023, ICICI Bank, IDFC, they are using e-rupee concept. And what is this e-rupee? You have the idea? Anyone? Yes, what is this? You can sit and tell. Digital currency. So how it works, any idea? Through apps. You can sit. You can sit and tell. Anyone? Yes, please.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon. Abhijit this side. Ma'am, digital currency is actually available in the electronic form only. Like it is different from the UPI. It is there is no mediatory in that. No banks involvement in that. Like कभी कभी हम लोग पेमेंट करते हैं यूपीआई के थ्रू तो फंस जाती है. तो बट ऐसा डिजिटल करेंसी में ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं होता है क्योंकि हम लोग की जो पेमेंट्स वगैरह होती हैं जैसे मनी होता है तो बिल्कुल मनी के फॉर्म में ही जाती हैं वो.
Bilkul, bilkul. Very good. So digital rupee is basically giving three major plus points. One thing is that it is replacing UPI because UPI required banks. They need open banking and APIs for transferring. But this digital rupee is completely based on blockchain technology. Now you must be heard about cryptos, bitcoins. I think they are not in the good phase going on. But still, this blockchain technology, which were used in crypto, is used in digital rupee. So uh, that uncertainty we can have in our mind कि ये भी blockchain की तरह ये भी crypto की तरह कुछ दिक्कत हो जाएगी. सबसे important, it is centralized. Crypto decentralized था. But this digital rupee is centralized by RBI. We call it as central bank digital currency, right? So it is completely safe. The control is of RBI, and the taxes part are also very less. Now again, physical notes को replace करके क्या फायदा होगा? Cost reduction and more safety and
थेफ्ट थेफ्ट से बच सकते हैं एंड चेंज इश्यूज आर ओवर. एंड यूपीआई को अगर रिप्लेस करे तो देखो अभी हम यूपीआई पे है. मैं हम अगर बात करें पहले की, हम चेक पे थे, हम यूपीआई पे है, हम डिजिटल रुपी में आने वाले हैं. सो दैट इज हैपनिंग. नथिंग गोज ओवरनाइट. It is like slowly and gradually it is happening. So what will happen there in the future, you should think that way out. You are MBA finance professional sitting in front of me, and if you are thinking we abhi bhi hum wahi chalte hain, wahi purana gisa pita, it will not work at all. So that amalgamation of finance with technology is very 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 mandate nowadays. We have to think that way out कि अब next क्या होगा, क्या मैं solution provide कर पाऊंगा. Up like this digital currency is having P2P and P2M without any interface. So this digital wallet system, you can add something else, any financial product, to give solution to the entire economy. That will be a change. That will be a kranti that you can bring. We are तो just analyzing. We are in that generation जो हमने पहले देखा, अब देखा. अब आप क्या करने वाले हो? You are future, as rightly said by Akash Ali sir. So that is new Bharat, adopting new technology and making the financial ecosystem more efficient. And I look forward कि आप भी उसमें अपने कुछ नया सीखें और ऐड करें जिससे definitely आपकी growth हो. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kangsha. So I must say, as a young professional, you must have to think beyond your classroom, beyond your books, right? This is all, I think, the gist of Akanksha's words. So now I would ask Sanjeev ji that can you share certain example of successful negotiation and settlement in the digital finance space? Because you were talking about check bounce hota hai, to uske liye fir we do negotiation. So any of the prominent example you can give or share with the student where successful negotiation and settlement has been done in the digital finance space. So any of the innovative approach you can highlight.
Okay, thank you. Since I could see that there was a bit of gyan also being given to all of you with regards to the career planning and how you should see into the future and all that, can we just take a step back from the question and take a slight different trajectory? I mean, I can do it later as well. दूसरा बात है कि I mean you've heard each of us at least once, right, on our initial thoughts. क्या मैं पूछ सकता हूँ कि आई मीन इज इट समथिंग इंटरेस्टिंग यू आर पिकिंग अप, कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं, कुछ Q&A कुछ तो करें. ऐसा ना हो कि हमें भी लगे कि हम किसके आगे बोल रहे हैं, मतलब खाली सीटें तो है नहीं. आप बताएं, मतलब आई थिंक लेट्स टेक अनदर 5 minutes फॉर दिस थिंग. हाँ, कि बीच में करते हैं, बिकॉज अदरवाइज मतलब अगर आप नोट नहीं कर रहे देन इवेंचुअली बाय द एंड ऑफ द सेशन यू मे नॉट इवन आई मीन रिमेंबर द क्वेरीज, और in case you have any
question which is coming in your mind, you can ask.
And to any of us actually, I mean, it's please and mic can be provided to her so that others can. No, you can be a bit louder. I mean, we'll be okay, but for the rest of them, okay.
As we all are discussing blockchain technology, so I want to ask that what are the challenges that are being faced by this blockchain technology to become the third general purpose technology of 21st century? What are the challenges that are being faced by blockchain technology?
So how do you start with a tech guy, and then of course we'll add our
I
bit.
think second was artificial intelligence, and third is going to be the blockchain technology. Fingers crossed. Third is the blockchain.
I think Manas can.
So we'll add and probably he'll lead.
Thanks. Thank you. See, any new technology which comes in across obviously would have its pros and cons. Blockchain has been one interesting technology. In fact, there are a lot of pros and cons out there. And in fact, while I was in IBM, this was one of the initial projects that IBM started off with, if you know the blockchain concept across there. And then talking about blockchain, the wide distribution initially started across, you know what a blockchain is, right? It's a distributed hyperledger. It started off across more into the Bitcoins and Ethereum across coming in across. Then that's how it initiated the usage of a distributed control over rather than a centralized control what RBI does, as ma'am was just talk about. But again, because of the nature of that business, it has its own pros and cons. The way that I see functionary and more from a technology aspect that this is it, I'd rather say that currently the way industry is working towards it and people's adaptation, it becomes more of an advantage about how things are going to be happening across over a period of time. As I said, technology, and that's what I mentioned in my initial point also. Technology can be, used as a sharp tool at either ends, for the good and the bad. The only part is, if you actually see, and again, this is a debatable part though, and a little controversial one, where we talk about bitcoins not being the right kind of, offering across from a pure play currency aspect. It's a cryptocurrency, but again, these have, as I said, different aspects of doing it. So rather than focusing on something on the side of questioning the variance of how a blockchain would be, I'd rather be the one who would be proposing more of it, but gives you a lot more control, gives you a lot more accountability. And whether it is in a distributed format or it is in a centralized format, it gives and ensures, because of the automation being built into that, that at no point in time there can be any, I would say, mismanagement of funds or the process itself or the accountability about how it is to be done. So I'd rather be on the side of actually propagating this to be the better technology, going forward, and you'll see more usage of it as we keep on moving it across there.
But Manas, in continuation to that, how this blockchain technology is impacting the financial industry?
Yeah, that's what I said when I said the impact. If you look at how cryptocurrencies are being used, or even the digital currency, what ma'am was saying, this is more or less from a blockchain technology being used as the fundamental aspect of delivering the set results on it, and that is how the definition of blockchain from a pure technology perspective is going to be. If you want to add anything, ma'am.
Okay. So the challenge what I found, like blockchain is like used in India or the outside world, and everybody is like using this interface. This blockchain technology challenge in India was the problem, the which I mentioned earlier. The regulation part was missing, and from 1st April 2023, I suppose the taxation part was very very high, and because of that news, like what I believe, like Bitcoin, I'll use the pricing of bitcoins like fluctuating without any control of the government. It is like demand and supply momentum is going, and the demand is high, the prices are high, and the moment the news come, the taxation part, the controlling is not there. From that, the demand fall, and the prices are again fallen very badly. So this downside risk because of this blockchain was this crypto part, because of all these factors only. But now what new things are coming, government in the budget is almost about to the interim budget that we are planning on this all blockchain adopting by the country. There'll be proper regulation from the initial onwards only, so the pricing and everything part will be, there will be no that much fluctuation, so it will be controlled. So that challenge will not be there in future. So we are adopting it very friendly now. And now I think आप लोग भी वो apps पे वो सब इतना used to हो चुके हैं उन चीजों के लिए कि अब हम फ्रेंडली है, और हम रेगुलेशन से इतना डरने वाली बात नहीं है, तो वो फ्लक्चुएशंस इतना नहीं रहेगा, वो चैलेंज कम हो जाएगा. दैट इज अ थिंग.
Okay, so we are all adding our own views to this thing. And let me also say a couple of sentences on each of this. So, blockchain is a concept, and the cryptocurrency was built on the blockchain concept where systems work, systems speak to each other. So, they are wanting to reduce the intervention so that there is more authenticity, credibility into the system when systems, and they interact with each other in parallel. So it's not a sequential thing. So it's very difficult to not have a trail, and it's difficult to not unearth the inconsistencies. So that's what the attempt was. Now, where does it lead to the governments of the various countries? Because they thought they lose control, which they were. Regulations always succeeds the initial attempts. So whether we called entrepreneurs, we call them technology disruptors, whatever it might be, they come out with some new innovation, which eventually, as we have been talking about, technology is IT is an enabler, but it can of course be used and misused. The governments don't want to let go of that opportunity, not only from the perspective of making money through taxation, but also to control. Because if a technology is left in the hands of only the innovators, then the chances of misuse are much higher because they are not on the radar. You've heard about the dark web, and you have heard about all those things. So a lot of blockchain concept still works there. That's the reason they are still beyond the radars. China struggled with it. India, of course, takes time. We are a democratic country. It takes time for us to understand and then see how the world is behaving, reacting. Then, of course, RBI as a central bank, taking care of the economic part of it. I think they are very conservative by the very nature, and which has helped us in situations. I'm not sure most of you are aware of the 2008 financial meltdown. India survived because of the conservative policies. Similarly, during COVID, they had their own policies which were taken to be conservative, but at the end, it has to suit the context. One size doesn't fit all. US, you must have heard or you must have read, they keep printing money, and the entire world talks about benchmarking against the US dollar, and half of the problem is because of that. But then again, it's a different debate. But coming back to the so this was the blockchain part. None of us, I guess, or in the market today has a concluding remark on that, that this is what it is and this is the way it will play. It's playing by the day, it's evolving by the day, and that's the beauty of the technology. By the time you try and understand, things have already changed, and it's happening by the hour. That's one part. Second thing is big data, right? That's again, we were talking, big data is nothing again, let's not make it technical and make it a हुआ कि अरे यार ये क्या हो रहा है, हमें तो पता नहीं है. So you are not in the market, or you're not seeing the internet for a while, or you're not seeing the Google. आप छुट्टी पे गए हो, इंटरनेट का नहीं था, और एक हफ्ते के बाद यार ये तो मेरे को पता ही नहीं. तो फोमो वाला कॉन्सेप्ट आज के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में, right? Fear of missing out. Now, if we cut down on the technical part of it and we try and understand what exactly is happening, big data is nothing but due to globalization, because of internet, because of access now, and because of social media and the content which is getting created by, not by the day or a week, by the hour, by the minute. WhatsApp पे जो आपकी WhatsApp university, of course, here we are sitting here, but then you've heard the memes, what we talk about the WhatsApp university. कौन कहाँ से क्या लिखता है, it goes viral, and क्योंकि 50 लोग बोल रहे हैं, उसकी रील को और उसको इतना वो likes और वो follower मिले हुए हैं. So that is the gospel truth, which is not true. So one has to really kind of cut down on the technicalities, understand the concept. Big data is nothing but loads and loads of information, or rather data. Big data is actually data from coming from all the corners, bottoms up, top down, from left, from right, from US, from India, from wherever. अब उसको, how do you make sense of that? उसके लिए आपको टेक्नोलॉजी चाहिए. You have to use filters, you have to understand. अब deep fake की बात हो रही थी, right? Recently we have all seen all those things. So there's too much of it happening. It's all because now you are one big family called the world, where there are no barriers. पहले तो उठ के कहीं जाना पड़ता था समझने के लिए कहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है. अभी आपको यहाँ पे बैठे बैठे पता चलता है कि कौन कहाँ पे क्या कर रहा है, करना चाह रहा है, बोल रहा है, सोच रहा है, for that matter. And the third word I think was artificial intelligence, AI. Again, why we create a मतलब a ruckus about it. Artificial intelligence is important. It's nothing but technology being used. So you are wanting to machines to help you in lot of mundane and routine activities. So artificial is only because that is the intelligence being used by the machines. And the kind of weightage we are giving, at times I fear that कि हम तो जबरदस्ती कह रहे हैं, नहीं तुम हमसे अच्छे हो. You are the creators of the machines. आप फोन को अगर आप you've got subdued to the mobile, and now mobile is driving your lifestyle and everything. So who's at fault? The mobile phone which you created, or you? Okay, so important is artificial intelligence ideally should not ever be the real intelligence. The real intelligence is all about human intelligence and knowing what to say, when to say, the creative part of it. वो क्रिएशन कहाँ से लाएगी मशीन? मशीन इज एट द डे, जब डे वन कंप्यूटर्स आए थे, व्हाट एग्जैक्टली वाज मशीन? अ कंप्यूटर, गार्बेज इन गार्बेज आउट. You create a SOP. The machines don't fight, by the way, right? Machines don't fight. I mean, that's where I wanted to also link the mediation and the negotiation. I'm not sitting with the machine and fighting it out. Machine is doing what it is supposed to. So आपके पास एक SOP है, आपके पास एक plan of action है. That is the way you design this entire process. That is the way technology, like, evolves. So technology has to be designed in a way that it supports you. So that is the whole idea. एनीवे, तीनों चीजों के बारे में कुछ कुछ बोल दिया. अब करियर ज्ञान की बात हो रही थी, तीन चार पॉइंट्स मेरे को अपनी तरफ से ऐड करने थे. ऑफ कोर्स, लाइक, सम आर बोरोड, बट व्हाटएवर इज गुड, लाइक, आई वांटेड टू शेयर विद यू. हैव यू हर्ड अबाउट स्टीव जॉब्स? लवली, चलो आपको पता है. What did he say in that famous speech? He said, curiosity and creativity, वो कोई नहीं छीन सकता आपसे. Can machine be curious, by the way? कैन मशीन बी क्रिएटिव बियॉन्ड अ पॉइंट? जो आपने डिजाइन बनाया उसको तो उसी में काम करना है ना. आपने कुछ भी मशीन बना, उसका एक एसओपी, उसका एक डिजाइन, उसकी एक टेक्निकल मैकेनिकल स्पेसिफिकेशंस, एंड द मशीन इज दैट इज द रीजन इट्स कॉल्ड मशीन. एट टाइम्स, व्हाई पीपल से मशीन की तरह काम मत करो, मतलब दिमाग कम लगा रहे हो लेकिन आप एक रूटीन में आ गए हो. लेट द रूटीन बी हैंडल्ड बाय मशीन. सो हिज पॉइंट वाज, identify the dots. And how do you identify? Because you are curious, you identify the dots. Then what he said, connect the dots. How would you connect? You have to be creative to connect the dots. That's where I want to, like, link it to your collaboration thing, which is very important. Because whatever you do, everything is going to be a teamwork, everything is going to be a relationship driven stuff. And that's the reason you have to communicate, you have to engage with people, you have to, like, talk. तो बात करेंगे, बात से बात निकलेगी. मशीन नहीं करती है ये सब चीजें. So that's probably the second point. एक चीज आइडेंटिफाई कीजिएगा, you are now management students, and to me, so I've been faculty of the management part only, even in insolvency. Because when we are given companies to monitor, companies to address, to restructure, what is the most minimum, missing important part is the good effective management. प्रोडक्शन कर रहे थे, ज्यादा कर गए, सेल को ज्यादा कमिट कर गए, क्वालिटी को छोड़ दिया, एचआर को छोड़ दिया, कंप्लायंसेस को छोड़ दिया. सो देयर आर सो मेनी थिंग्स. What is important at the company level is the management, good management. So from that perspective, you have to identify and pick at least one of the three. तीनों मिल जाएं तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. You should strive for a name, you should strive for money, or you should strive for impact. आपको तीनों अगर कर पाए तो अमेजिंग है. बट देन, वंस यू आर लुकिंग एट अ करियर फ्रॉम दैट पर्सपेक्टिव, वांट टू शेयर विद यू, ट्राई एंड पिक अप वन ऑफ दीज एंड देन गो आफ्टर. कोशिश करिए तीनों से शुरू करें, कोई दो मिलेंगी तो बहुत अच्छा है. नाम, पैसा तो, बिकॉज पैसा, द रीजन वी आर सेइंग इज that is important, that is the benchmark what we all use to define success. But success is equally important when you have name and fame. Success is also important when you have been able to create an impact, and impact is through your innovations and technology, and, like, by putting everything together. And the only last point I would say is, when you take calls, you have to just ensure that you are seeing through, preempting, and try to visualize. जो मैं आज कॉल ले रहा हूँ उसका फ्लिप साइड क्या हो सकता है. सो देयर इज ऑलवेज अ अदर साइड ऑफ द स्टोरी, बिकॉज द राइट और रॉन्ग इज ऑलवेज इन हाइंडसाइट. आपको इवेंचुअली होगा कि यार ये तो ठीक नहीं हुआ, बिकॉज व्हाट माय प्रोडक्ट वाज, लाइक, द मार्केट इज मूव्ड बियॉन्ड, और इट्स अ मिसवेट. सो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी is very important in your design, into your, like, entire thought process. But everything will be proven in hindsight. For now, you have to be very mindful of the fact that there's always a other side to the story, other side to the picture. So this was from the perspective of your, a kind of a career guidance. So that's from my side. Thank you.
Well said, Sanjeev. Curiosity has to be alive, right? You should be curious to know more and more about the subject. So, what we are talking about today, it should not end here only, right? Now, when you go home or maybe in your classrooms, you should discuss about it what we have discussed today. So you need to research about it. You have to go through the Google and search more and more insight what we are discussing today. So that has to be there. So this curiosity has to alive. That is the what I say, the crux of this, what this Sanjeev has said. So now I would ask Akanksha. Akanksha, since you are practicing chartered accountancy, so what is this open banking which I was talking about in my opening speech? So what are the principles of open banking and how it can be leveraged to create more collaborative and innovative financial ecosystem?
Okay. So initially you asked, I think you all understand open banking?
They are not aware of. They
Okay,
said that
okay.
they are not aware.
APIs? No.
No.
So this APIs are basically application programming interface. Now, open banking is just like a banking, and this is basically giving access to third party programming. जो third party technology developers होते हैं, to the banking is giving access to all the data, the use of the access of data to all this third party technology developer. So like Google Pay, Phone Pay, these are the fintech companies. So open banking is basically जैसे आज I'm using the banking of PNB or ICICI. I have an app. From that app, what I can do, I can check my balance. I can transfer the amount, IMPS, RTGS, NFT. And what I can do, I can have my mutual funds, I can have my ECS deducted, or I can check my loan statement, my mini bank statement. These are the things are there on my open banking app that I'm already using. So how this open banking is more innovative and collaborative, this kind of changes are innovations. And if I talk about the collaborations, they are doing collaboration with multiple fintech companies nowadays, which are the fintech startups, right? So one of the fintech startup, phone pay, everybody heard about that? So in 2019 I've applied a loan, the home loan. So how much time it took to get the loan? Being a chartered accountant, having a good CIBIL and good income statement, proper tax filings, everything, every documentation was correct. But it took more than 15 days for that approval of loan. Because what is the process? Initially, they asked me my 6 months bank statements. Then they asked me my 3 years of ITR, then my GST returns and other relevant documents. They were asking me, and within 15 days, I got the approval from the so-called आजकल चल रहा है HDFC Bank. The HDFC banks, I got the approval and I got the loan, and 1 month में मेरे को loan मिला. 2000 कब की बात है? It is 19. Now, if I talk about this 2023, अभी तो हम 2024 में, मैं 2023 की बात कर रही हूँ. 2023 में PhonePe has created one account aggregator. Heard about account aggregator? Anyone? Achha, this account aggregator, you can download the app. There is account aggregator. What it does actually? Account aggregator collects the data from all the income tax department, from the banking, from the insurance company, and they have all the data segregated at one place. So what happened? अगर आज मैं कहीं लोन अप्लाई करती हूँ टुडे, like going again back to HDFC, please मुझे लोन दे दो. So what they are going to do? They are not going to ask me the multiple documentation. आज वो मांगेंगे ही नहीं. वो simply फोन पे जाए, अकाउंट एग्रीगेटर खोलेंगे, within 1 day मेरे को लोन का अप्रूवल मिल जाएगा. Because all the data is with that phone pay, because RBI has given the permission to multiple fintech company to have this account aggregator. So this is the solution. मतलब कितना ईज हो गया. अब आप देखो 19 से 23 में मेरे को जो 15 दिन में लोन मिल रहा था, आज कितना टाइम लग रहा है? ओनली 1 day. इफ द अच्छा, इसमें अब सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम आती है इंक्रिप्शन की. सेफ्टी कहाँ है? मेरा डेटा कोई भी ले रहा है. आज मेरा डेटा किसके पास पड़ा है? फोन पे पड़ा हुआ है. अगर मेरी बैंक स्टेटमेंट फोन पे है, या मेरी ITR फोन पे है, या फिर मेरा कोई म्यूचुअल फंड है जो फोन पे है, या मेरे शेयर्स ले रखे हैं वो फोन पे है, तो सेफ्टी कहाँ है? So RBI has done the encryption part. Permission दी है, but everything will be in encrypted form. One OTP will come. देखो, मुझे लोन चाहिए तो मुझे ही OTP आएगा. I'll give the permission to PhonePe to give my data to HDFC Bank so that they can grant me the loan. So are you getting the logic, the technology from this APIs, this fintech companies, how fast they are providing us the solution? तो ये जो सॉल्यूशन इतना फास्ट आ रहा है और हम जैसे ये तो लोन मैंने अपने पार्ट पे बोला, बीइंग देखो प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंसिंग में ये लोन बहुत कंपनीज को, बड़े बड़े कंपनीज को चाहिए होता है, तो हम लोग के लिए इतना फास्ट हो गया है ये काम करवाना. सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द एग्जाम्पल. अनदर फॉर स्मॉल बिजनेस आई विल शेयर, बिजनेस अकाउंटिंग. अकाउंटिंग के लिए वी यूज टू हायर नॉट अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट बट अ अकाउंटेंट. We pay him certain amount of money. Daily he work for us. Up nowadays he's also not required because there are softwares like Sage, Zero. We can extract the account, bank account, पूरा details आ जाता है, पूरी बैंक अकाउंटिंग आ जाती है और हमें अकाउंटिंग की रिक्वायरमेंट ही नहीं है, वो सारा सॉफ्टवेयर हमको करके दे रहा है फ्रॉम दिस ओपन बैंकिंग ओनली. अच्छा, हर्ड अबाउट मिंट? मिंट पर्सनल फाइनेंस के लिए मिंट न्यूज पढ़नी चाहिए भाई, एमबीए मिंट की न्यूज तो पढ़नी चाहिए. ओके, मिंट है, इकोनॉमिक्स टाइम, ब्लूमबर्ग, ऑल दीज थिंग्स यू मस्ट हैव द सब्सक्रिप्शन, राइट? तो अभी now this APIs are tracking how we invest, how we save. APIs आए ट्रैकिंग कि हमारा खर्च करने का तरीका क्या है, हमारा सेव करने का तरीका क्या है. तो फ्रॉम दिस ट्रैकिंग प्रॉपर पर्सनल फाइनेंस के भी आइडियाज हमको विद नोटिफिकेशंस हमारे फोन पे आ रहे हैं और हमें पता भी नहीं है. अब मुझे हाउ आई स्पेंड, हाउ आई इन्वेस्ट, I specifically being a stock market analyst, I do not invest anywhere else except the stock market. So Mint is giving me all the personal finance idea related to equity market because they are tracking me. Keep, I am not spending my money anywhere else. So they are tracking me and giving daily the future and options ideas, equity market idea, daily they are giving these ideas because of this APIs only. So these APIs these days are trackers, and these trackers are these fintech companies, and they are providing solutions to us like this. ये भी आप देखते हो ना, आजकल आप किसी चीज को एक बार देख लो, दो बार देख लो, वही दिखता है, उसी की एड्स दिखती है. क्यों दिखती है उसकी एड्स? बिकॉज दे आर ट्रैकिंग अस. तो अभी क्रेडिट स्कोर्स देखना है, वो मशीन लर्निंग टूल्स है सबके पास. टैक्स मैनेजमेंट के, मतलब अब मैं अपना ही रोल बोलूंगी, मेरा रोल मुझे दिख नहीं रहा है बिकॉज ये सब मुझे करके दे रहे हैं. अब मैं ये सब हाथ से कुछ नहीं कर रही हूँ, मुझे सब कुछ करा कराया मिल रहा है. अब हाउ एफिशिएंटली आई यूज देम, जिससे मैं एक अपर साइट पे जा पाऊं. तो नाउ आई हैव टू apply all these apps to make my working more efficient. So this is basically making good financial ecosystem using APIs.
Right, well said. So basically, one application have multiple APIs integrated, right? So these APIs are playing very important role. For example, whenever आपको कोई कैब बुक करना होता है, ठीक है ना, करते हो ना, चाहे ओला से या उबर से, so उसमें एक OTP आता है ना. So without OTP, that app doesn't start, right? Such kind of encryptions, what she is talking about, that it is available so that your transaction remains secure and safe, right? So I think, Giti ma'am, do you allow more time? Because as per session, we are already delayed, but then, okay. So if you want to give any concluding remarks, Sanjeev? Okay, so any further questions we have? Any student who would like to ask any question from any of the panelists? But I would say Mr. Aditya, the final panelist who is also there among us, so he is very late, of course, but then we can have his insights also. So Aditya, can you join us? Yeah. So because of the huge traffic jam, he is stuck. So but we are fortunate that he is present, of course, after suffering for a lot traffic jam. Yeah.
Some solutions for the traffic. Some technology. Drone.
So Aditya, so we have discussed a lot about the subject today, but since you are here, so we would like to really know that what your insights about the theme which we have taken and how it is going to benefit to the students.
Thank you so much, and I'm really honored. And my sincere apologies for the delay, keeping the panel waiting. Firstly, so I think the theme, when I got to know about the theme, I think this is something which has to be spoken about right now. The reason being that finance is a very delicate subject to all the traditional people, and finance has been very traditionally operated for a long time. And now when we are digitalizing it, like ma'am rightly mentioned, when I was hearing, we have APIs, encrypted APIs, without the user's knowledge or without your authentication, you're not giving away anything. So I don't know if somebody has used the Indian app Indie Money, or something of those, Grow app for example. What they do is they actually get your mutual funds, your equity, your bank balances, and they give you your net worth. Okay. Initially, like back in the days, where my father used to actually have a CA in his office to actually find out the net worth, and he used to know the net worth of the company only 1 year down the line when they are actually filing the returns. You could never understand or know your net worth. So I think accepting this, and the key factor over here is security and authenticity. I think that is where a lot of traditional people are pulling their hands behind, wherein, oh, I don't know where my data is. I don't know, what I'm dealing with. So I think as young individuals and professionals, it is our responsibility to actually, educate them, which obviously the apps and the markets are doing, on the benefits of digitalizing this, and having everything at your fingertips. I think that is where the concluding remarks, or my view towards these, this theme would be. Yeah.
Well said.
Thank you.
So, any further questions? So, do you think that we have justified with the theme today? Okay, okay, fine.
My question is how RP is different from intelligent automation, because some way is increase productivity of employees. So how is it different from both? It's how different.
No, I'm not getting your question. Can you
My
repeat
question
again?
is how RP is different from intelligent automation.
Okay. So, Akash, would you like to answer about it?
Okay, so RPA is a little bit different between like intelligence automation means RPA. You only suppose I give you one example. Okay, so suppose there is a vendor, okay, and his payment is suppose 2,000 rupees, and the settlement time is suppose 6 p.m. Okay, so if every day 2,000 rupees, then we can do with the RPA. It's a repetitive work. Okay, but intelligent automation, you can automate that. Like you can add on many things there according to their earning. Suppose someday he is earning maybe 3,000 rupees, so it will go to the 3,000 rupee with the intelligent automation. But with the RPA, it is only go to, it is good for the data entry, RPA. Okay, and the regular task, it is very good for the RPA, this one. But intelligent automation, you can like the payment settlement for the vendors, right? Or like all the like business Paytm, right? One of the great example now is Khata Book. A lot of applications are there which the vendors are using. Okay, so for that, intelligent automation is there. Yeah, yeah, right, right.
So, are you okay with this answer? Okay. So now one task I'm giving to all the students, you have to work on how many finance applications are available online, right? Be it on Play Store or Android. So you need to make your own analysis and research about all the apps, what they are doing, how they are doing, and how one or the other app is differentiating from other app. So this, this takeaway should be there from this session, that you should learn about different application, their pros, cons, and how you can become a change maker, right? As a young professional, young finance students, right? Any other question is coming in the mindset of student? Yes.
So, ma'am, we know that
It will in future. Like there are multiple unbanked and underbanked area. So what is the requirement? Digital literacy programs which are already an initiative of Indian government. They are doing all these things. Now you must have seen this Narega payments, this subsidies. They are directly coming into the accounts of the unbanked people. Sorry, underbanked people, not unbanked. Sorry, underbanked में उनके account में directly आ रहा है without any middleman. So that is reaching there. In fact, the RBI PSL scheme, Priority Sector Lending Scheme, this scheme is basically giving subsidies to the bank branches to open the account, open the branches of banks in the underbanked areas. So, Jandhan is one of the major literacy program. In fact, multiple initiatives this government has taken specifically. You will see in this budget, specifically the agri sector, what they are doing for and what will happen. So again, the same thing I will say, nothing will happen overnight. It will take years, but it will definitely happen day by day. We'll see to that.
So, my friend, I also want to address the same thing. Good morning became good afternoon about 1 hour back, right? But that was still okay because you were loud enough for everyone to hear. More important is, आपसे 5 साल पहले अगर पूछा जाता, सपोज ऐसा सेशन होता, तो आप क्या परसेंटेज बोलते? यू एक्चुअली सेट कि अभी तुम 60-70% पे पहुंचे हैं, क्या हम 100% पे पहुंच सकते हैं ना कंट्री लाइक इंडिया? 5 साल पहले डू यू सी कि हम बोल सकते थे कि 60-70% ऑफ द कंट्री लाइक इंडिया वुड हैव गॉट कवर्ड? सो पर्सपेक्टिव इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर 10 साल पहले कुछ नहीं हुआ, 5 साल पहले कहानी शुरू हुई, स्पीड बढ़ेगी, ट्रेन धीरे 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 अपनी स्पीड बढ़ाएगी. नाउ वी आर ऑल गेटिंग एजुकेटेड, द पर्सपेक्टिव इज डिफरेंट, ग्लोबलाइजेशन एज यू स्पोक अबाउट सम टाइम बैक, राइट? तो अब जो टेक्नोलॉजी बाहर यूएस में, उधर आपके सिलिकॉन वैली में चल रही है और यहाँ पे बैंगलोर में चल रही है, उसमें हार्डली कुछ फर्क है, राइट? सो विच मीन्स कि व्हेन शी सेज कि इट विल टेक इयर्स, मे बी नॉट इयर्स. अगर हम शायद अगले साल मिलेंगे तो आप कहेंगे अरे यार, नो, आई अंडरस्टैंड एग्जैक्टली. So, with a, okay, not making it political, but the right kind of a leadership, right kind of a vision, and being proactive. अभी मैम ने specially repeat किया ना, curiosity and creativity. ये दो चीजें तो किसी के लिए, you don't have to wait for them, right? For anyone to teach all this thing. Curiosity अंदर है, creativity अंदर है. So identify the dots, connect the dots. Picture will get complete. So why we have to wait another 5 years for 100%? It will happen much prior. Got it? Thank you.
So don't wait for your MBA to complete. Otherwise, MBA will become a piece of paper, right? So degree is just a piece of paper. You should acquire skills and knowledge. That is important, right? Yeah, exactly. Don't wait for the change, bring change. And I always says, मैं हमेशा बच्चों को एक बात बोलती हूँ. अभी हमसे ज़्यादा डायनामिक आप हो, डेफिनेटली हमारे पास एक्सपीरियंस ज़रूर है, बट हमसे ज़्यादा एनर्जी आपके पास है और आप डिजिटल वर्ल्ड में रहते हैं. एवरी टाइम यू आर सराउंडेड विद डेटा. Data is coming from all this fair, right? So you are more intelligent than us. And I proudly say that younger generation are more capable, more energetic, more dynamic. So the only thing is that you have to be creative and curious to do more and more, and you can become the change maker. With this word, I would conclude this session today. If you have any more question, definitely we can address those questions. Yes. Aditya, would you like to address?
I think, a very good question. Okay, first of all. And I think what comes into play here are the regulatory norms, right? So, when the government wants to directly tie up with a fintech company, like ma'am said, there's a lot of data flow. There are security concerns and issues. So, we need a regulator like RBI to actually recognize those fintechs first. Only then can your data flow in there. Like you rightly said, 2 lakh crores, right? Probably you might have only 1 lakh in your account, okay? But collectively, it's a big amount. So you need to have a regulator, which is RBI, Okay, today phone pay, Paytm, all the big companies that are doing well right now in India, okay, they're doing well because of the regulations that they've set up, and it is recognized by RBI. Tomorrow if I open a fintech, okay, or if you happen to open a fintech startup, let's say, so many finance students, I cannot trust a new fintech startup with 2 lakh crores and go and tie up with the government directly, right? So I think that is the problem or the hurdle that we're facing, which will be easily in the future, like I see, will be solved by blockchain and data science. So, again, talking about the future, blockchain and data science will manage a lot of data and a flow of data along with APIs to actually solve this problem.
I'm sure this change will happen because if you
Yeah.
look at education industry, I'm sure everybody knows about new education policy. You know, we have never thought that industry perspective has been added into the curriculum. Now UGC says that 40% syllabus has to be covered by industry professional. So that is basically called as edtech, right? Edtech industries are coming and they're collaborating with traditional education institution to make a change. So similarly, I'm sure this regulatory framework will come in place, and of course, fintech industry would also join head with the government to make it more sustainable and of course friendly for the audience or maybe for the viewers or people across the world. Thank you.
And I think, like rightly ma'am said earlier, also the change makers are all the future generation of finance. Okay, so I think the previous question which was there with us, that when will it happen? I think we are the ones to decide how soon it happens, right? So I think the onus is in your hands now.
अच्छा, एक बात इसमें से मुझे बताइए, इंडिया में कितने स्टार्टअप्स हैं अभी तक, और उसमें से कितने स्टार्टअप हैं विच इज बाय यंग प्रोफेशनल्स ओनली? सब यंग ही तो हैं, 30 साल के बच्चे, है ना? They have made unicorns. So you are the best change maker. So such kind of things can be done by you people only. The only thing is that, again, I would say by Sanjeev words, that you have to be curious to know more. So what we have discussed today, ये सेशन यहीं पे खत्म नहीं हो जाना चाहिए, राइट? क्योंकि इस तरह के जो सेशंस होते हैं, जो हम डिस्कस करते हैं, इट शुड नॉट बी ए बोरिंग लेक्चर, रादर इट शुड ओपन योर माइंडसेट that what we have to learn more, what we have to know more about it. So that kind of, of course you are a mature student, right? Now you have to go into the industry. So industry में किताबें लेके नहीं जाएंगे हम, या इंडस्ट्री में डिग्री लेके नहीं जाओगे. Degree is just the basis to enter into the company. Then in company you have to face the competition. वहां पे IIM का भी कोई ना कोई एम्प्लॉय होगा ना, ISB के एम्प्लॉयज भी होंगे, या टॉप मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस के एम्प्लॉयज होंगे. उनके बीच में आपको भी अपनी जगह बनानी है. तो डिग्री के बेस में तो नहीं बना सकते जगह, बिकॉज यू आर फ्रॉम ए ट्रेडिशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन. यू गॉट माई पॉइंट? ऐसा होता है ना, एक कंपनी के अंदर IIT IIMs के लोग भी होते हैं. नॉट ओनली IIT IIMs, देयर आर टॉप मैनेजमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन, वहां के एम्प्लॉयज भी उनको ज्वाइन करते हैं और उसमें आप भी होते हैं. ठीक है, तो आपको अपनी जगह बनानी है. कैसे बनाओगे? डिग्री के बेस पे तो नहीं बना सकते. आपकी डिग्री तो ऑर्डिनरी डिग्री है. तो एक ही चीज काम आएगी, क्या? स्किल्स, नॉलेज. तो वो आप कभी भी एक्वायर कर सकते हैं, उसके लिए किसी इंस्टीट्यूशन की वेट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. कॉलेज आपको वो सारे प्लेटफॉर्म दे रहा है, जरिया दे रहा है, बट करना तो आप ही को है, right? So as a academician I only can motivate you that you have to work. Don't wait कि सेमेस्टर आएंगे, एग्जाम होगा, खत्म हो जाएंगे और डिग्री मिल जाएगी. उससे करियर नहीं बनने वाला. डिग्री से तो कभी करियर नहीं बनते. दिस इज माय एक्सपीरियंस एज एन एकेडमिशियन एंड ऑफ कोर्स नाउ एज एन एंटरप्रेन्योर आल्सो. डिग्री से करियर नहीं बनते हैं. डिग्री केवल एक जरिया होता है. करियर आपके नॉलेज और स्किल से ही बनता है. वो आपको एक्वायर करना है, और उसको एक्वायर करने के लिए इंस्टीट्यूशन बिकम एज ए सपोर्ट सिस्टम जो आपको फैसिलिटेट करता है. ठीक है ना? और वो फैसिलिटेशन आपको मिल ही रहा है. गॉट माई पॉइंट? ओके, सो जस्ट बी द चेंज मेकर, राइट? So now I think we should conclude it, because student panel discussion is also there, and you must be excited to share your views with your fellow colleagues and fellow students, right? With this note, I must say thank you to all the panelists here who have spared time and share wonderful insights. So I'm sure this event has justified what we have thought about, that what we are going to discuss. So this is really very enriching for us, for everyone. Thank you.
I must say, this was an insightful discussion we have had today, exploring the digital frontier that are reshaping finance. Let's carry this knowledge forward, and together, let's continue revolutionizing finance digitally. Thank you all for being part of this engaging finance conclave. I would like to request Dr. Geeti Sharma to present a memento to Dr. Manas Sinha as a token of remembrance. I would like to request Dr. Manju Gupta to present a memento to Mr. Akash Ali. Now, I would like to request Dr. Meenakshi Sharma to present a memento to Mr. Sanjeev Ahuja. I would like to request Dr. Richa Sharma to present a memento to Mr. Aditya Maurya. I would like to request Dr. Anju Bala to present a memento to CA Akanksha Arora. I now request Dr. Richa Sharma, HOD MBA, to give vote of thanks.
Well, good afternoon to all the dignitaries on the dais and faculty members and dear students. So I'm here before all of you to express my thanks to everyone. But before I do that, what is the crux of the today's session? I could get one, that they should be creative and they should be curious, because only degree will not serve. Whatever has been told about digitalization and the fintech, that is, of course, very insightful. But yes, as an MBA student, as a regular MBA student, you should be what? Curious and creative. Well, on behalf of MIMT, I stand before all of you to thank the dignitaries for joining us in this insightful session. First and foremost, my heartfelt thanks to the management who have always supported us to arrange such kind of knowledge sharing sessions. Next, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all the panelists present over here who have wonderfully shared their knowledge and wisdom with the students, and I hope they are feeling enriched today after this session. My sincere thanks to Director Management, Dr. Geeti Sharma ma'am, to be here and always guiding all of us. Dr. Manju Gupta for all the efforts and support in organizing this event. I also thank the organizers, the Finance Club, Dr. Ranju Bala and the faculty team, and the student office bearers also of this Finance Club who have done a wonderful job. And no doubt, I would like to also mention thank you for the volunteers who have been working for this event day in, day out. And not to forget admin and IT staff for all the support for this effective conduction of the event. Not the least, I would also like to thank Divya ma'am for conducting the session so nicely. And with this, I would like to once again thank you all for being here. And faculty members are requested to join us on the stage for a group photograph. And we can have a good round of applause for each one of us. Yes? Students, please stay back. You'll not leave. Okay?
अंजू मैम
करना ही है, हम सारे सीए निकलेंगे ना, क्योंकि 90 और 99 हो रहे हैं। अब इनके ऊपर हमें काम करना है और इनको सीए बनाना है, तो ये तो मेहनत कम कर रहे हैं ना।
Students, be seated.
Right. So,
मैम को बात करनी है अभी कुछ।
Yes, can I have your attention, please? बेटा आप लोग आज किस इवेंट के लिए आए हुए थे यहाँ पे? तो whenever we are here for such events, right? You are all doing your masters. First of all, it is expected that before you come for such events, you should do some homework, some reading yourself also, which was completely missing. Except 10% of the student, rest were all here for gossip, right? अब मैं कुछ लोगों को खड़ा भी कर सकती हूँ, आप तीनों की बातें खत्म नहीं हुई पूरे सेशन में. All of you, please stand up. 1, 2, and 3. Yes, please stand up. I have to pinpoint because there's no other option. Stand up. पूरे सेशन में आपकी बात नहीं खत्म हुई. Don't give me gestures